Kody Brown is back, and Janelle Brown isn't buying it for a second. After years of silence, after years of abandonment, after years of choosing Robyn over everyone else, Kody suddenly decided he needed to reach out to Janelle. He called her up, all friendly and concerned, asking if he could visit her in North Carolina. He wanted to take her to dinner. He wanted to talk. He wanted to, quote, extend an olive branch. And the moment Janelle heard his voice, she knew something was off. Because Kody Brown doesn't just call out of the blue. He doesn't just decide to be a caring ex-husband after years of treating Janelle like she never existed. He doesn't just show up unless he wants something. And Janelle, who spent decades decoding Kody's manipulation tactics, recognized the pattern immediately. So she did what any smart woman would do. She called her daughter Maddie. And Maddie Brown Brush, 30 years old and done with her father's games, sounded the alarm. Maddie wasn't having it. She wasn't about to let Kody Brown waltz back into their lives like nothing happened. She wasn't going to sit back and watch her mother get pulled into another cycle of false promises and emotional chaos. Because Maddie has seen this movie before. She grew up in it, she lived it, and she spent years in therapy unpacking the damage. When Janelle told Maddie about Kody's sudden interest in reconnecting, Maddie's response was immediate and firm. She told her mother straight up that if Kody wanted back into their lives, he was going to have to prove himself. And not with one phone call, not with one dinner, not with some dramatic apology tour designed for the cameras. He was going to have to show a pattern of consistency. That phrase, pattern of consistency, is everything. Because Maddie knows her father, she knows how he operates, he shows up when it's convenient, he makes grand gestures when he needs something, he performs care and concern when there's a storyline to sell or a marriage to save. But the moment the cameras stop rolling, the moment the crisis passes, he disappears again. And Maddie refuses to let that happen anymore. Insiders close to the family claim Maddie has been fiercely protective of Janelle throughout this entire process. She's watched her mother struggle, she's watched her mother grieve, she's watched her mother finally start to rebuild her life after decades of being gaslit and neglected. And now, just when Janelle is finding peace, here comes Kody with his perfectly timed phone call. Maddie sees right through it. She knows this isn't about healing, this isn't about family, this is about control, this is about Kody trying to manage his public image. This is about Kody needing to feel like he's still relevant in their lives. And Janelle, to her credit, isn't falling for it either. But here's the thing. Kody isn't just reaching out to Janelle. He's launching what he's calling his apology tour. He's planning to visit all three of his ex-wives, Janelle, Christine, and Mary, to personally apologize for the years of damage he caused. And everyone's asking the same question. Why now? Why, after all this time, is Kody suddenly so desperate to make amends? Maddie Brown Brush didn't mince words. When her mother told her about Kody's sudden desire to reconnect, Maddie laid down the law. She told Janelle, and she made this crystal clear, that she was open to reconciliation. She was open to forgiveness. She was even open to closure. But, and this is a massive but, if Kody ever wanted to be let back into their lives, he would need to demonstrate a pattern of consistency. Not a phone call here and there, not a birthday text, not some staged apology for the cameras, a pattern. Sustained, reliable, consistent behavior over time. This wasn't just Maddie being harsh. This was Maddie protecting herself, protecting her mother, and protecting her own 4 children from the chaos that follows Kody Brown wherever he goes. Because Maddie has done the work. She's been in therapy. She's talked openly on her podcast, The Authentic Society, about her toxic childhood experiences. She's learned how to set boundaries. She's learned how to identify manipulation. And she's learned that words without action mean absolutely nothing. And Kody Brown, he's all words. Maddie knows this better than anyone. She grew up watching her father make promises he never kept. She watched him show favoritism to Robyn's kids while neglecting his other children. She watched him create strict rules during the pandemic that isolated her and her siblings while Robyn's kids got unlimited access to him. She watched him pit family members against each other, manipulate situations to make himself look like the victim, and disappear when things got hard. So when Kody suddenly decides he wants to play dad again, Maddie's not impressed. She's cautious, she's skeptical, and she's making it abundantly clear that temporary efforts won't cut it. Sources close to the family suggest Maddie has become the voice of reason among the adult Brown children. While some of her siblings have completely cut Kody off, Maddie is taking a more measured approach. She's not slamming the door entirely, but she's also not leaving it wide open for Kody to breeze through whenever he feels like it. Her conditions are non-negotiable: consistency over time, reliable behavior, sustained effort. Not just when the cameras are rolling, not just when he needs something, not just when his marriage to Robyn is on the rocks and he needs to prove he's trying. All the time. Every time. And here's what makes Maddie's stance so powerful. She's not asking for perfection. She's not demanding that Kody become some ideal father overnight. She's simply asking for what every child deserves from their parent: reliability, presence, follow through. But for Kody Brown, that's apparently too much to ask. Maddie has also made it clear that she won't facilitate his return. She won't smooth things over. She won't make excuses for him. She won't play mediator between Kody and her siblings. If Kody wants relationships with his adult children, he's going to have to do the work himself. He's going to have to reach out. He's going to have to show up. He's going to have to prove through his actions that he's changed. And so far, he hasn't done any of that. Janelle Brown has spent decades dealing with Kody's manipulation, and she's not about to fall for it again. When Kody reached out asking to visit her in North Carolina, Janelle's response was immediate and brutally honest. She told Maddie exactly what she suspected. She said, "I suspect it has something to do with the family and the kids, but I'm like, you don't need me. We're not friends. I'm not going to facilitate for you." Let that sink in for a moment. We're not friends. I'm not going to facilitate for you. Those words are everything, because what Janelle is saying, loud and clear, is that she sees exactly what Kody is trying to do. He's trying to use her as a bridge back to the kids. He's trying to manipulate her into smoothing things over, into making phone calls, into setting up meetings, into convincing their adult children to give him another chance. And Janelle is refusing to play that role. This is massive. For decades, Janelle played the peacekeeper. She was the practical one, the reasonable one, the one who tried to make plural marriage work even when it was clearly falling apart. She managed Kody's schedules, she managed the family finances, she managed everyone's expectations. She did everything she could to hold the family together while Kody ran off to Robyn's house and played favorites. But those days are over. Janelle has woken up. She's done being Kody's facilitator. She's done being his emotional manager. She's done doing his work for him. And she made this even clearer in a confessional. She said it would be a lot for Kody to make amends. She acknowledged that he had called her on some significant dates. He called on the first anniversary of their son Garrison's passing in March of 2025. He called on what would have been Garrison's 27th birthday in April. But here's the thing. Those phone calls? They're not enough. Janelle recognizes them for what they are. Performative gestures, bare minimum efforts, checking boxes so Kody can tell himself and tell Robyn and tell the cameras that he tried, that he reached out, that he showed he cared. But where was he when Garrison needed him? Where was he in the months and years before Garrison's tragic death? Where was he when his son was struggling, when his son was hurting, when his son needed a father who actually showed up? He wasn't there. And now, after it's too late, he's making phone calls on anniversaries and birthdays. Like that somehow makes up for years of absence. Janelle isn't buying it, and she's making sure Maddie doesn't buy it either. Word on the street suggests Janelle has become fiercely protective of her children's emotional well-being. She's watched them suffer, she's watched them grieve, she's watched them try to process the abandonment and rejection they experienced from their father, and she's not about to let Kody disrupt their healing just because he suddenly feels guilty or needs a storyline. If Kody wants back into his children's lives, he's going to have to do it himself. Without Janelle, without manipulation, without shortcuts, and that terrifies him. Kody Brown has launched what he's calling his apology tour, and the entire thing reeks of calculation. He's announced that he's going to personally visit all three of his ex-wives, Janelle, Christine, and Mary, to apologize for the damage he caused during their marriages. He's got it all planned out, dates scheduled, meetings arranged. It's organized, strategic, and suspiciously well-timed for maximum drama on camera. But here's where it gets interesting. Kody admitted on camera why he chose to visit Janelle first. He said, "There's so much less toxicity, there's so much less for me to forgive. It's easier for me to ask forgiveness." Did you catch that? It's easier for me. Not Janelle deserves an apology first. Not Janelle was the most hurt. Not I need to make things right with the mother of my children who stood by me for decades. No, it's easier for him because there's less for him to forgive. As if Kody is the victim here. As if Kody is the one who needs to forgive Janelle for something. As if this entire apology tour is really about his feelings, his comfort, his ego. And that tells you everything you need to know about why he's really doing this. Reports are surfacing that Kody's relationship with Robyn has been strained. Sources close to the production suggest that Robyn has been pushing Kody to take accountability for his role in the family's breakdown. She's reportedly tired of being blamed for everything. She's tired of being painted as the villain. She's tired of watching Kody play the victim while refusing to acknowledge his own failures. And so Kody, ever the performer, has decided to launch this apology tour. Not because he genuinely wants to heal, not because he's done deep self-reflection and realized the harm he caused, but because he needs to save face face. He needs to prove to Robyn that he's trying. He needs to prove to TLC that he's still worth filming. He needs to prove to the public that he's not the monster his children are making him out to be. But here's the problem. Actions speak louder than words, and Kody's actions have been consistent for years. Neglect, abandonment, favoritism, manipulation, emotional abuse disguised as religious principle. One apology tour doesn't erase decades of damage. Kody has even admitted in conversations with Robyn that his greatest regret is declaring that he never loved his ex-wives. He wants to take that back. He wants to apologize for saying it. But the damage is done. You can't unring that bell. You can't tell 3 women on national television that you never loved them and then expect a simple apology to fix it. And his timing, incredibly suspicious. He's launching this apology tour right as the current season of Sister Wives is airing, right as public opinion is turning even more against him, right as his adult children are publicly calling him out for his failures, right as he needs a redemption arc to stay relevant. Insiders claim this entire thing is about damage control. It's about Kody trying to rewrite the narrative before it's too late. But Maddie and Janelle see right through it. Let's talk about Kody Brown's impeccable timing, because it's not coincidental, it never is with him. Kody reached out to Janelle on some very specific dates. He called her on the first anniversary of Garrison's death in March of 2025. He called her again on what would have been Garrison's 27th birthday in April. And now, months later, he's suddenly showing up in North Carolina wanting to have dinner and extend olive branches. And everyone's supposed to believe this is genuine? That Kody suddenly grew a conscience and decided to be a caring father and ex-husband? Please. Here's what actually happened. Garrison Brown, Kody and Janelle's son, tragically took his own life in March of 2025 at just 25 years old. The family was devastated. Janelle was destroyed. The other siblings were grieving. And where was Kody? According to multiple sources, including his own children, Kody was largely absent during the immediate aftermath of Garrison's death. He showed up to the funeral, but even there, witnesses claim he was distant, performative, and more concerned with how he looked than with actually supporting his grieving family. And then, when the cameras stopped rolling, when the public attention died down, Kody disappeared again, until the anniversaries came around. Until dates that would be publicly noted and discussed. Dates where people would be watching to see if Kody showed up. Dates where his absence would be glaringly obvious and damaging to his already destroyed reputation. So he made phone calls, quick check-ins, brief conversations, just enough to say he tried, just enough to claim he was there. But where was he in the weeks after Garrison died? Where was he when Janelle was drowning in grief? Where was he when his other children were struggling to process the loss of their brother? Where was he during the hard, quiet, unglamorous moments when his family actually needed him? He wasn't there, and now he wants credit for making phone calls on convenient calendar dates. Industry insiders suggest that Kody's timing with this apology tour is equally calculated. He's launching it right as Sister Wives Season 20 is airing, right as his failures as a father are being broadcast to millions of viewers, right as public opinion is overwhelmingly against him, right as his adult children are speaking out about his neglect and manipulation. This isn't about healing, this is about crisis management, this is about Kody trying to salvage what's left of his reputation before it's completely unsalvageable. And Maddie sees it. She's watched her father do this her entire life. Show up when it benefits him. Disappear when things get hard. Make grand gestures when cameras are rolling. Ghost everyone when the attention fades. Janelle told Maddie during their conversation that she suspects Kody's sudden desire to reconnect has ulterior motives. She said it probably has something to do with the family and the kids. Translation: Kody needs something, he wants something. He's not showing up because he genuinely cares. He's showing up because there's an agenda. And that agenda? It's all about making himself look good while doing the absolute bare minimum to actually change. And then Leon Brown decided to tell the truth. The brutal, unfiltered truth that completely demolished Kody's claims of trying to reconnect with his estranged children. Leon Brown, Kody's child with Mary, took to social media and dropped a bombshell that exposed Kody's entire apology tour as a lie. And they didn't hold back. Leon wrote, "I gotta be clear. I have not heard from that man since my brother took his own life. Kody blatantly disregarded me at Garrison's funeral. He is a liar and he is a joke of a father, that's all. Let that sit for a moment. Leon has not heard from Kody since Garrison died. Not a phone call, not a text. not a message. Nothing. Zero communication from their father during one of the most devastating periods of their life. And at Garrison's funeral, Kody blatantly disregarded them. He couldn't even manage basic human decency at his own son's funeral. He couldn't put aside whatever petty grievances he had to simply acknowledge his grieving child. But wait, it gets worse. Leon also pointed out something incredibly telling. Kody doesn't even follow most of his adult children on social media, including Maddie, his own daughter, the one he's supposedly trying to reconnect with, the one he called and wants to visit. He doesn't even follow her on Instagram. Think about how revealing that is. Kody claims he's been reaching out. He claims he's been trying. He claims he wants to heal relationships and rebuild connections. But he can't even be bothered to click a follow button on Instagram. It's the most basic, minimal effort gesture imaginable. Following your own children on social media. And Kody can't even do that. This completely contradicts the narrative Kody has been pushing. He's been telling everyone, including Robyn, including the cameras, including the viewing audience, that he's been trying to reach out to his estranged children, that he's been making efforts, that he's been met with rejection and silence. But Leon just exposed that as a lie. Kody hasn't been reaching out, he's been absent, he's been silent, he's been doing absolutely nothing while claiming he's been doing everything. And Leon calling him a joke of a father? That's not just anger talking, that's someone who has watched their father prioritize his image over his actual children for years. That's someone who has been ignored, neglected, and abandoned while watching Kody play perfect dad to Robyn's kids. Sources close to the family claim that Leon's public statement sent shockwaves through the Brown family dynamics. It gave other siblings permission to speak their truth. It validated the experiences of the adult children who have been gaslit for years about their father's behavior. And it completely undermined Kody's apology tour before it even really got started. Because how can you apologize for harm you won't even acknowledge? How can you claim you're trying to reconnect when you haven't made a single genuine effort? How can you expect forgiveness when you're still lying about your own actions? Leon's statement proved what Maddie and Janelle already knew. Kody's apology tour isn't about making amends, it's about making excuses. So what does pattern of consistency actually mean? And why is Maddie making this her non-negotiable condition for letting Kody back into her life? Because Maddie Brown Brush has done the work. She's been in therapy, she's talked openly on her podcast about unpacking the trauma of her childhood. She's learned how to identify toxic patterns, she's learned how to set healthy boundaries, and most importantly, she's learned that words mean nothing without sustained action to back them up. Pattern of consistency means showing up not just once, not just when it's convenient, not just when cameras are rolling or when you need something. Showing up reliably, predictably over an extended period of time. It means following through on promises. If you say you're going to call, you call. If you say you're going to visit, you visit. If you say you care, you demonstrate that care through your actions every single day, not just on anniversaries and birthdays. It means being present even when it's hard, even when there's no audience, even when there's no reward, even when your child is angry or hurt or not ready to forgive you yet. And for Kody Brown, this is apparently an impossible standard. Maddie knows her father's patterns. She's seen them play out her entire life. He makes grand gestures. He shows up with dramatic apologies. He promises things will be different. And then, within weeks or months, he's back to his old behaviors. Neglecting, abandoning, playing favorites, disappearing when things get uncomfortable. Word on the street suggests that Maddie's experience as a mother herself has fundamentally changed her perspective on what her father owes her. She has 4 children with her husband Caleb Brush, and watching herself parent, watching herself show up for her kids day after day, has made her realize just how much Kody failed her. Because being a parent isn't about the big moments. It's not about the apology tours and the television appearances and the carefully staged reunions. It's about the daily grind, the bedtime routines, the homework help, the doctor appointments, the simple presence that says, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, you can count on me. Kody never gave his children that. He gave them chaos. He gave them uncertainty. He gave them a father who might show up or might not, depending on which wife he was prioritizing that week. And Maddie refuses to expose herself or her own children to that kind of instability again. Her condition for reconciliation isn't unreasonable, it's actually the bare minimum. She's simply asking her father to be reliable, to be consistent, to prove through sustained effort over time that he's actually changed and not just performing change for the cameras. But here's the problem. Kody has shown zero evidence that he's capable of this kind of sustained consistency. His entire apology tour is built on the same old pattern: big gesture, public display, temporary effort, and then inevitably a return to his old behaviors once the attention fades. Maddie sees this coming, she's preparing for it, and she's making it clear that unless Kody can break this pattern, he doesn't get access to her life anymore. That's not being harsh, that's being smart. There's a manipulation tactic Kody Brown has used for decades, and Janelle Brown just exposed it. When Kody reached out wanting to visit Janelle in North Carolina, she immediately recognized what he was really after. He wasn't coming to make amends with her, he wasn't coming because he missed her or valued their decades together. He was coming because he wanted her to facilitate his return to the kids. And Janelle shut that down immediately. She told Maddie, "You don't need me. We're not friends. I'm not going to facilitate for you." This is huge, because what Janelle is calling out is a pattern that defined their entire marriage. Kody would create problems with the kids through his neglect, his favoritism, his broken promises, and then he would expect Janelle to fix it, to smooth things over, to explain his behavior, to convince the kids to give him another chance. Janelle was expected to be the bridge between Kody and his own children. She was expected to manage his relationships for him, to do the emotional labor he refused to do himself. And for years, she did it. She made excuses for him, she explained away his absences, she tried to help the kids understand their father's choices even when those choices were inexcusable, but not anymore. Janelle has stepped out of that role. She's refusing to be Kody's emotional manager. She's refusing to pave the way for his return. She's refusing to do the work that Kody should be doing himself. And this terrifies Kody, because without Janelle facilitating, he actually has to build relationships with his adult children on his own. He has to reach out. He has to have difficult conversations. He has to face the consequences of his actions without someone running interference for him. Reports are surfacing that this facilitator dynamic wasn't unique to Janelle. Kody expected all of his wives to manage his relationships with their children. He expected them to explain his rotation schedule, to justify why he wasn't there for birthdays or school events, to convince the kids that dad really did love them even though he rarely showed it. Christine talked about this extensively after she left. She spoke about how exhausting it was to constantly make excuses for Kody's behavior, to try to help her children understand why their father chose Robyn's kids over them, to manage their hurt and disappointment while Kody just kept doing whatever he wanted. And Mary experienced this too. She spent years trying to maintain some kind of relationship with Kody even as he completely checked out of their marriage. She tried to facilitate conversations. She tried to create opportunities for connection. She did all the emotional work while Kody did nothing. But the wives have woken up, they've stopped playing this role, they've stopped doing Kody's work for him, and now Kody is faced with the reality that if he wants relationships with his adult children, he has to build them himself. No shortcuts, no mediators, no wives, smoothing the path for him. Insiders claim this is why Kody's apology tour feels so performative, because he still doesn't understand that relationships require consistent effort. He thinks he can show up, say the right words, and everything will be fixed. But Maddie and Janelle know better. They know that without genuine, sustained effort, nothing will change. Let's talk about the real reason Kody Brown suddenly decided to launch this apology tour, and it has everything to do with Robyn. Behind closed doors, people are saying that Kody's marriage to Robyn has been under serious strain, and the cracks are starting to show. Robyn has reportedly been pushing Kody to take accountability for his role in the family's destruction. She's tired of being blamed for everything. She's exhausted from being painted as the villain who stole Kody away from his other wives. She's over watching Kody play the victim while refusing to acknowledge that his own choices created this entire mess. And Kody, desperate to keep Robyn happy, has decided to do something he's never done before: admit he might be wrong. He even told Robyn on camera that he realizes he can be an a-hole. Those were his actual words. He admitted that his anger has caused deeper family wounds. He acknowledged that maybe, just maybe, he's contributed to the chaos. But here's the thing, he didn't come to this realization through self-reflection. He didn't wake up one day and think, wow, I've really hurt a lot of people. He only admitted fault because Robyn demanded it, because his current marriage depends on it. This entire apology tour isn't about healing his relationships with Janelle, Christine, Mary, or his estranged children. It's about proving to Robyn that he's trying. It's about saving face. It's about damage control for the only relationship Kody actually cares about maintaining. Sources close to the production suggest that Robyn has been increasingly frustrated with how the family dynamics have played out. She's watching her own children grow up in a fractured family. She's dealing with the public backlash of being seen as the favorite wife. She's navigating the reality that her husband's other children want nothing to do with him. And reportedly, she's told Kody that if he doesn't fix this, if he doesn't at least try to make amends, their marriage might not survive either. So Kody panicked, and he launched his carefully orchestrated apology tour. But it's all surface level, it's all performance, because if Kody genuinely wanted to heal these relationships, he would have started years ago. He would have shown up when Garrison was struggling. He would have reached out to Leon after the funeral. He would have followed his own children on social media. He would have done literally anything that demonstrated real care and effort. Instead, he waited until his marriage to Robyn was threatened. He waited until he needed a storyline for the show. He waited until public opinion turned so far against him that he had no choice but to attempt some kind of redemption arc. And Maddie sees this. She recognizes that her father's sudden interest in apologizing has nothing to do with her or her siblings. It has everything to do with Kody's own needs. His need to look good, his need to save his marriage, his need to feel like he's not the monster everyone says he is. Insiders claim that the adult Brown children have discussed this among themselves. They've compared notes. They've realized that Kody's timing is suspiciously aligned with his problems with Robyn, not with any genuine desire to rebuild relationships with them. And they're not falling for it. Maddie Brown Brush has made her position crystal clear, and it's a message every single member of the Brown family needs to hear. One apology tour doesn't erase decades of abandonment. Grand gestures don't replace years of neglect. Performative efforts for the cameras don't heal the deep wounds caused by a father who chose favoritism, manipulation, and emotional abuse over genuine love and presence. Maddie's warning to her mother, and by extension to her father, is simple but powerful. If you want back in, prove it. Not with words, not with phone calls on convenient anniversaries, not with staged dinners in North Carolina designed for maximum television drama. Prove it with consistent, sustained, reliable action over time. And until Kody Brown can demonstrate that kind of fundamental change, Maddie is protecting her peace. She's protecting her healing. She's protecting her 4 children from the chaos that follows Kody wherever he goes. Because Maddie has learned something crucial through her therapy and her own journey as a mother. You don't owe anyone access to your life just because they share your DNA. You don't owe forgiveness to someone who hasn't done the work to earn it. You don't owe your emotional energy to someone who has repeatedly proven they don't value it. And Kody Brown has proven over and over and over again that he doesn't value his relationships with his children from his first 3 marriages. He didn't value them when he enforced strict pandemic rules that isolated them while giving Robyn's kids unlimited access. He didn't value them when he missed birthdays, graduations, and major life events. He didn't value them when he told their mothers on national television that he never loved them. He didn't value them when Garrison died and he couldn't even show up properly in their grief. Word on the street suggests that the adult Brown children have created a united front. They're supporting each other, they're validating each other's experiences, they're refusing to be gaslit into believing that Kody's version of events is the truth. And Maddie is leading that charge. She's become the voice of reason, the protector of boundaries, the one who's willing to say out loud what everyone else is thinking. Dad, you failed us. And until you genuinely change, we're done pretending everything is okay. Janelle supports this stance completely. She's told Maddie that she won't facilitate Kody's return. She won't smooth things over. She won't do his work for him. If Kody wants relationships with his adult children, he needs to build them himself. And so far, he hasn't. He's made phone calls on significant dates. He's planned an apology tour that conveniently aligns with the television season. He's admitted to Robyn that he's been an a-hole, but he hasn't done the hard, unglamorous, consistent work that actual change requires. Maddie's final warning is this: actions speak louder than words. Patterns matter more than promises. And consistency over time is the only currency that will buy back what Kody has destroyed. Until he understands that, the door remains closed, and Maddie isn't apologizing for protecting herself and her family from more of Kody's chaos. Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.